podcast in the world
ever
ever
of all time
of all time.
since the beginning of Jupiter.
Can't even disagree with it.
Well, you
Welcome to the
but
what's that?
Jupiter is made out of liquid hydrogen.
It's a gas giant, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a gas giant. It's
Eh,
liquid
ish,
ish.
ish.
But it's not liquid because it's cold hydrogen. It's liquid because it's insanely hot hydrogen.
So weird.
Very
It's
weird.
it's so weird,
I
dude. Is that the rabbit hole we're gonna go down?
I have to watch at least one astronomy video every time before I talk to you. Oh, right, because this episode is the physics of human reaction time.
I think that's what it is. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, I've been doing my own studying on this too as well. Um, Learning about the thalamus and the hippocortex and
And the hippocortex and the hypoxis
the
and all
vagina
of it.
nerve, no, Vegas nerve,
Vagus nerve.
the Las Vegas nerd. Wait,
That's funny.
so before we get started with science stuff, I wanted to share what appears to be peak gun performance.
Peak gun performance.
Yeah. Because as you will soon see, only a few in the world can do what this man is teaching these people to do. And if you're familiar with internet gun instructors, you probably know Achilles Heel Tactical. Um, Last year, made famous by the SIG P320 that supposedly went off in some dude's holster while the media team was filming, and that was a big to do. So let me share this thing. So he's got this drill called the man card drill. Man card drill. The implication being, if you can do this drill, you get to keep your man card.
Some
Now,
people's
I mean,
kids,
before
man.
we get started, like, just help me understand the logic of calling it this. And he actually gives you a card, gives you a man card, and when you fail out of the drill, you have to give up your man card. And according to this video, 214 man cards have been given out in the last 7 years.
There's a lot to be said about this shit. That I don't know, dude. It's one of those like if you say you are the thing, you're probably not the thing.
Yeah,
Like if you have to say it, it's probably because you're not.
yeah. So he's talking here about. I'm not going to play the video for this part, but he characterizes this as a test of your cold skills. So what does that mean? Cold skill. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, absolutely nothing.
Okay. What what do you think it's supposed to mean?
Probably your murderer skills.
Well, I think in general, when you're talking about cold skills, you mean no warm up, like
Got it.
on demand cold skill.
Got
Uh,
it.
so that means no practice repetitions.
Got
That
it.
means you show up. Well, I mean, like even going to the range to do a cold drill still kind of defeats the purpose of a cold drill, if you ask me. Um, like a cold drill would be somebody runs up and shoves you from behind and then gives you a target while you're standing in line at Safeway. Like to me, that would be a cold drill.
Correct.
You were not expecting
You're not
to have to do
expecting
it.
it.
There was no
Yeah.
planning involved.
Correct.
So this is not a mentally cold drill. This is strictly a physically cold drill. But my experience with performance, and especially in the context of threatening and uh, and chaotic and surprising environments is that your brain actually gets in the way a lot more than it helps.
Correct.
So it not being a cold drill mentally is probably like a hindrance as far as your expectation of true performance in a self-defense encounter. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I really explained that well. But anyway, in this part of the video, he explains this is a cold drill. Okay. Then he demonstrates the cold drill. And in the demonstration of the cold drill, he's telling you what you're going to be doing. Okay. So here we go. One shot from a ready position, compressed ready. So this is compressed ready to Mr. Achilles heel tactical. Let's see if I can pause this. All right. So there's a 1 second standard here. Yeah.
So
Cold
1 second from.
from compressed ready. But compressed ready is like right here to him.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is you have 1 second from draw or
No, from the beep.
to shoot.
Yeah. Then
Got
there's
it.
one. Then there's a 1.5 second from the holster,
Got it.
and the target's like 20 yards away. I think. I'm guessing. Bang. Okay. I just love this presentation of the pistol here. I, like all he's missing is the baby oil right here for the titty party, the range titty party. Okay, then there's a rifle, a couple rifle drills, low ready, high ready, and then one where you do the rifle and then from the pistol, etc. And you have to beat the time standard. You have to hit the accuracy standard. Okay, so as this first guy goes, watch what everybody else is doing.
Miming.
They're getting their presentation reps in.
So it's not a cold drill.
It's not cold.
It's not cold.
It's not cold. So, all right, this guy loses his man card. Also, you get two tries.
To try.
Yeah. So there goes his man card. Bye bye. Yeah. Okay. Then we have this dude. Let's see, where is he? This guy right here. Okay. This guy, I don't know. There's something about his face that reminds me of somebody, but I'm trying to figure out who. Anyway, he's shooting a staccato, it looks like, or some variation of a 2011. And when you watch him, let's slow this down a little bit. What do you think he's not doing as a part of this cold drill with his staccato?
Probably doesn't have a safety on.
Nailed it. All right, let me get to here. So here's his thumbs right here.
Yeah.
Zip,
No safety.
no safety. And I'm sure he's not the only one. He's just the only one that I caught. And he's not engaging the safety right here.
Yeah. So he's got no reps in for that safety.
Right. Well, in fact, what he's doing is he's counter repping his safety because he is supposedly in context not using it. So creating myelination wrong direction. So
It's crazy.
anyway, two guys get to keep their man card, I think, after the drill.
Warm is cold, cold is warm, dude.
Yeah. Oh, look, this dude right here, his high ready or compressed ready is much closer to his body. All right, hold on. No, I passed it. Can't do the YouTube thing. I can't do it. Yeah, so his compressed ready is a lot closer. So we're also not getting, and also his presentation is more head down, gun up.
Yeah.
And I can't tell because he's left-handed if he's using his safety or not.
Fucking weirdo. We're going to assume he's not, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be mean. I could be, well, actually, more importantly, I don't want to be wrong. Oh, actually, I think let's see what this guy.
Boy,
Let's see.
because
He'll
it's
be drawn from the holster.
the third guy, right?
This guy right here.
I'll take your man card. Next shooter.
Next shooter. Okay.
It looks like he did.
You can't tell.
You can't tell.
say he didn't. That's for sure.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
He's got plausible deniability.
Yeah, he's got plausible deniability, like Christy Nome. So anyway, I just like this is all the hotness right now. Like if you see this on YouTube, you're gonna start seeing like more man card drill.
More man card drills.
Yeah. And they're all gonna be made famous by this Achilles heel tactical dude. And like if this was competition shooting, this would be fine. Like go for it. Good job.
But it's a self-defense class, right?
These are mostly cops. So I think. Yeah, he's got the final man cards of 2025, police attempt, the man card drill. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. I found that today. It made me laugh.
Oh shit.
It's fun being the little guy too, right? Because you could talk like mad shit and nobody ever
Nobody would challenge. Nobody fucking challenges it.
because you're just
Well-
like you're like the little hanging Chad trying to get like trying to get noticed.
Did you comment?
I'm gonna pick on the big guys.
Did you
What's
comment?
Did I comment? Of course I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
got nothing.
Nothing.
No bites.
No joy.
Couldn't rage bait them.
Oh, I got to open up the chat. Oh, speaking of chats, I jumped into what's his face? Gun Websites was doing a video the other night about machine gun stuff going on in West Virginia.
West
So,
Virginia.
if you
They
guys
killed that bill, huh?
What's that?
They killed that bill.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention. I heard that a couple more states were trying to do the same thing. I think Tennessee and Idaho.
Yeah, my understanding was that in West Virginia, at least, the sponsor of the bill pulled it.
Okay. Maybe Gun Websites could tell us what he knows.
Yeah.
So, Project or Joseph, I should say, I think it was 20 yards. So, 20 or 25 yards. That's just based on kind of the way the pictures of the range looked. So, sounds like some TikTok crap. Yeah, it's social media crap. is what it
Social
is.
media shit.
Yeah. The DC circuit struck down the magazine capacity ban today.
Struck down the ban
The magazine capacity ban in DC.
in DC.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the strongest districts for Supreme Court challenges. Is that right?
It's not. I don't know, dude. The 10th. Ours is pretty fucking tough, dude.
No. But the DC circuit, what circuit is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me see. Because we're in the 10th judicial circuit. Somebody will know this before I can. Are they their own?
Maybe they are.
Yeah, I think they're their own. District of Columbia circuit.
This actually, I wonder if this is actually not as good a news as it sounds, because I would suspect that any district.
Fourth Circuit of Appeals. What judicial circuit is DC in? They're in the fourth circuit.
If this decision is not appealed, then it won't go beyond that circuit, right?
That's kind of the trap. Is it kind of has to go through the process, because if it stands, then it's that we made the decision for you.
Yeah.
So there's nothing more to say, and it kind of stays there. And then the other problem that we're facing now is, I made a video about this a while ago, and that's Trump was heavily pushing, because of immigration laws, that anything that a court of appeals would do would be localized instead of nationalized.
Mhm.
So obviously that hurts the gun people. This is why here in Colorado, New Mexico struck down its, I believe it's the 18 to 21
Mhm.
or the 18-year-old, the 21-year-old to purchase firearms. I think that's the one that they struck down. Either that one or the waiting period. I forget which one it was. But we don't get to reap the benefits of it because of that that
I think it was
decision.
waiting period. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, so we could have reaped the benefits of it, but Trump, Trump was like, nah. If a court of appeals does it, it only applies to the case or to the state where the case was at. It localizes it, so it's yay us, yay
Becoming a lot
us.
more expensive.
Yeah.
A lot more expensive. All right. Let's talk about reaction time.
Let's do it. I know we only have like an hour today. We're doing a shorter thing. And then I think moving forward, we're going to start doing these on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Classes coming up March 14th and 15th. There's still room available. The pistol class on the 15th is nearly full. The carbine class still has plenty of room in it.
Yeah.
And we're
So,
doing a buy one get one half off. So
buy one,
$300
get
you
one
can
half.
take both classes.
And yeah, I think we're going to start moving this to Wednesdays, I believe. I'm saying this out loud because I'll forget to tell Tisha. She does the class schedule. So starting the 18th, we'll be doing them on Wednesday. Oh, that kind of works out because that's when we're going to have Chris.
Yep, special guest.
Special guest Chris. Chris, here in the state of Colorado. If you guys don't know, he's I could say I guess he's a colleague of ours on the FIPI team. And he specializes in the ERPO stuff. So he collects data. He's not an advocate for it. He tries to stay neutral on the conversation about ERPO, but he does have data, and I kind of want to have a conversation with him about what goes into the data collection and what kind of questions they ask during surveys and how honest all of this shit is and all that stuff. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want unbiased. You want somebody who does not get involved in the political discussion because if you're right, if your side is right about, if we say red flag laws are dangerous or ineffective at best or counterproductive, we want to be able to point to real data, not biased data. Like the data that John Lott has collected about self-defense encounters is expansive data. It's a huge data set, but it's also John Lott. Like
Super biased.
He's not unimpeachable when it comes to biases. So
yeah, Chris. They did a webinar a while back, and it was exactly on this subject. And I text him and Jessica. She's also she's the director of FIPI, and I was like, hey, this is all fucking bullshit. I don't like the way it's presented, and here's why, and here's the problems. And we were gonna meet up. The FIPI team was gonna meet up at the Aurora campus, and he's like, cool, well, be there an hour before the thing, and then we'll meet up, and you can tell me why we were wrong and what the fuck was wrong. So he fucking called me out on that shit, and I show up. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was just I try to find exactly what I was mad at the moment, but I can't find it anymore. So
I got my eye on you, man.
You're still full of shit. But I mean, it's that stuff. It's just like, okay, if you say I'm wrong, let's have a conversation about this. Let's and that's what you want. That's what you want. So we're not going to have a conversation, but I don't think we're going to turn it into a debate. I don't anticipate that's not what I want to do, but I just want to provide humans with information about a law that Isaac and I both are grossly against, or positively against, or we hate it. It it sucks.
Sucks.
It sucks. The physics of human reaction. Um, so one thing that I did a podcast about science, and it was about the stimulus response pattern and how it all kind of works out. One of the things that I never considered about human reaction is that it's in the gun training area. I mean, we just seen a video of people hearing a beep, and then they want to be as fast as possible to it, disregarding that real reaction time, the real stuff, the stuff that the brain does, information gathering. It's all a domino effect. It's actually not necessarily a speed, but it's more of a chain reaction. It's a series of events. This has to happen first. The eye has to receive information, and then one thing I didn't know, I just found out a couple days ago as I was studying this, is the big difference. And when I say big, I'm talking about comparatively speaking, because you're still talking about pretty small numbers, but comparatively speaking, the reaction time that is visual is very different than that is auditory.
Auditory's much faster, right?
Much faster.
Yeah.
Much faster.
Like on the order of 2 to 3 times faster.
I don't know. Let me.
I think it's something like that.
It sounds right. Like, again, it was one of those things. The numbers are still small, but comparatively speaking, visual is 200 to 250 milliseconds. Auditory 150 to 200 milliseconds.
Oh, okay. So it's about twice as fast, or a little bit less than twice as fast.
Yeah. So we'll just say we're all tarded, so twice as fast.
Yeah.
Auditory, and touch is 150 milliseconds.
Interesting. I have forgotten about touch as far as what I learned about that, but I almost would have assumed that that's slower. But I guess it matters what the touch stimulus is, right? Because heat is like
Fair.
transmitted much more slowly than some of the other tactile stimuli.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with your hippocampus, your memory, and how the amygdala perceives that stuff. So it's more of a we kind of talked about this on Tuesday. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm doing a science podcast every Tuesday with an individual called Richard Fletcher, and we kind of just talked about this, how we don't really feel wet. It's just we don't have a wet sensor. It's just a temperature sensor and the way it feels. So I'm sure there's got something to do with I'm burning, but I know that sensation means fire, not necessarily it's fire, so let's receive it faster, because it's still a sensory issue.
The question I have is, why would the auditory be faster than the visual? Especially considering humans are intensely visual animals, comparatively speaking, and our ears are not nearly as sensitive as other animals are.
So my understanding is because it has to be processed a lot more. So you figure the eye bulb, being that it's a sphere, it's kind of working with like the glass of vodka that you're drinking. Like it'll reverse the image at some point. Like if you people do this all the time, they draw an arrow and then they put it behind the vodka or the water, and it flips the arrow the other way, and that's what your eyeball does, just because of the way it is.
So it's not a speed of the neurons; it's the amount of processing that
it has to be processed a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gun website says I get sick of people twice as fast once they open their mouth. So, maybe is that is that something you learned, or is that a theory that you have?
No, that's my understanding of it.
Okay.
just because this is what we talk about. Well, at least I talk about it in my classes, right? Like, because it has to go into the eyeball. It then corrects the image to the way we understand the world to be, instead of it being upside down, and then it has to be processed through the limbic system after that. And then after that, it has to go back to the occipital lobe, where it makes sense of the image that you have, and then sends it back to the prefrontal cortex, where it makes logic out of that information. Smell, one thing that I was wrong about for a while, and I now understand as a fact, the smell is more direct to the thalamus, so it kind of bypasses all the processing bullshit, because of fires, because of gases and potential toxins and all that shit. So it bypasses a lot of that processing. I'm assuming auditory would be the same thing, since we can't see it. We react to it a little bit quicker. But I don't know the exact definition, exact reason why.
Yeah, I mean, the signaling systems are physically limited by where they go in the brain and where they connect to the thinking parts and the processing parts of the brain. But the complexity of the signals themselves, I don't know how much distinction there really is, like taste, vision, um, smell, auditory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm completely out of my depth there, but it's interesting to think about why certain ones are faster and why, and what the consequences, because that's what we really care about, is what are the
Yeah.
consequences of those things.
So here's what I got really quick before we go to that. And again, this is a simple Google search. I highly recommend you guys look it up in the comparisons, like actual fucking science stuff. But the Google says auditory or hearing is faster than visual processing because sound signals take more direct, less complex, and faster path to the brain. Sound reaches the brain about 8 to 10 milliseconds, while light signals require 20 to 40 milliseconds to reach the cortex.
Oh, that
That
is actually closer to
that's the visual cortex,
right.
not the prefrontal cortex. That's the visual cortex. This allows for faster reaction to sudden sounds compared to visual. And this is a big part of our argument, right? Like the when you go with the beep, it's not the same as, because you may not be getting yelled at, you may not hear a gunshot, it might be somebody stabbing, and your reaction time to somebody just stabbing is obviously going to be a little bit slower than if somebody's shooting. And again, we're still disregarding the fact that there still is a chain reaction in that reaction time.
And the reaction time, I think you can correct me on this if you want, or if I should be corrected. The reaction time is not, like, we have to break down what we mean by that, because a trained skill to a stimulus, a trained response to a stimulus, the last thing in the process is the execution of that skill.
I
Reaction
don't
includes you processing the stimulus and
and making a choice, because that takes time.
making a choice. So some of the reaction times we're talking about don't really require a choice. We're talking about the startle response. There's no choice in that. But the execution of a learned skill requires a choice. That skill is the required response. Like if I'm stimulated by brake lights in front of me, the response is not always to hit the brakes. You
Yeah.
want to take in the time that you think you have, you want to take in as much information as you possibly can, because it might not be the brake that you apply, it might be the gas pedal, or it might be the steering wheel. I remember this really stuck out to me because I'm on my way to your office one time,
Mhm.
and there was on where you're at now, or I mean over in that neighborhood, and there was some kind of a traffic delay, and instead of going the way I normally do, I went up. What is it? Federal Sheridan. I went up Sheridan Federal. I went up Federal a little bit further, and I was going to cut through a neighborhood. And you know that whole thing where you're crossing traffic that's like stopped, so everybody
Mhm.
gives you a little room and let
Yeah.
you squeeze through.
Yeah.
But then there's that one lane that's open, and you never know, somebody could be flying down that lane. So
Correct.
people are like, "Oh yeah, go ahead," and then you just drive right into somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm crossing that lane, and I just happened to look at the exact moment that I realized a car was coming quickly, and the response was hit the gas, not the brake.
Not the break.
It was a decision that the best way to avoid an accident was to get the hell out of there, not to stop.
Not to stop. Not stay in the way.
So that's that choice, right? And once the choice has been executed, the response, the physical response, is to apply the skill that you have learned how to do, which
Correct.
is hit the brake pedal with the right amount of force, hit the gas pedal with the right amount of force, and coordinate the hands with the steering wheel while you do it.
Well, and I think because of what you just said there is why we have to steer away from what we would call choreographed events or choreographed training. Because in choreography, you would have just stopped because that's the most logical thing to do is just stop.
Choreography removes more and more of the choice.
Yeah, because it's all preloaded.
Mm-hmm.
It's all preloaded information, and in a hyper controlled environment, and that's why you're always successful because it's all preloaded stuff. It's let's do cold skill whatever, and then everybody's doing warm-ups before you do the cold thing, so that it's not really reacting it. Now you're just responding, and there is a difference between response and reaction. You're predicting what's going to happen. You're no longer reacting to what is happening. You're predicting what is going to happen. Um, yeah, I mean, there was a level of I've been here before for you because I think we've all been there where like I
Yeah.
think a car is going to come. So that's the beauty of having enough experiences where you recognize the information that was presented in front of you. You're like, I think I need to floor this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to do at the range, not choreograph it, but instead, you said this a certain way last time that I really liked, and I forgot because I liked it. So I forgot how the fuck you said it, but it's we're not deciding the what, we're deciding the I guess the stimuli. If this happens, we're gonna do something. We're giving our brain a cue, a repetition in a variable, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I actually like something occurred to me in the class. I had two classes a couple weekends ago, and um, the first class I felt like was shitty compared to the second class.
Uh-huh.
And I'm driving home from the first class, and I'm just trying to go over all the things that I think didn't go well, all the things that I didn't do right. And in the process of thinking about that, um, I started thinking about the up command and how when I first learned the up command, and for those of you who don't know, when we do our shooting, most of the stimulus that we as instructors give to you, that it's time to engage, is up. We don't say shoot, we don't say bang, we don't blow a whistle, we say up. And there was a long time where I really didn't understand why that word was used. Up. Like, why not go? Like, what does it matter? But what when you get far enough into the training material, what we expect you to do is to treat the target as an unknown stimulus. And the up command is telling you to look at the target. I'm not telling you to shoot, I'm telling you to look. And then from there, if everything is going well, correctly, I want you to think of a reason to shoot before you shoot. I want you to think of a stimulus, like visualize a stimulus. Now, it doesn't have to be overly detailed. It shouldn't be under detailed, but it shouldn't, necessarily be over detailed. A reason to shoot. So I look at the target and I realize this dude has a knife and he's coming towards me. And then I start to engage. And then I visualize a reason to stop shooting and, drop the knife, fell down, apologize, whatever. And so I started to do this into the class. I started telling people when we started getting a little bit later in the class, I want you guys to remember when I tell you up, I am not telling you to shoot. I'm telling you to look at the target and then decide what you're going to do.
Correct.
And in that decision, we are reinforcing that you are moving while you present the pistol or present the handgun. And that's the difference, I think, is look at the target, look at the hands of the target. That's part of that visualization. Your brain is already hardwired, Joseph, to look for the dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Right. So if I tell you to look at the target, what we're reinforcing is that you are orienting like you normally would. Your brain already wants to do this especially when it believes there's a threat. It will experience the stimulus and then it will orient towards the threat. And so we're reinforcing that reaction and then incorporating the handgun into the decision to defend.
Yeah, we're when we're shooting, so this is in the late 90s. There was a lady, and I don't remember her name right now. This is probably one of the only things I liked about the USCCA conceal carry home defense course. They combine both of those together. Is they cite a lady who conducted a study. She's a neuroscientist that conducted a study with police officers, and it was after shootings. So every officer, how they write reports and how most of them get it wrong. And this is where a big turn in self-defense happened with the idea that you fight like you train. And they asked him about objects that the bad guy had. And you see this a lot with cops. Well, and we see the aftermath, right? There's plenty of evidence of, and I get it. We're talking about cops, and not a lot of people like cops, and it incites a lot of political and emotional stuff. But if we just set that shit aside and understand that cop or otherwise, we're whether you like it or not, we're still all humans. And a lot of cops shoot people that have cell phones that have. You showed me a video a while back. He had a sandal in his hand,
Oh yeah.
and they fucking smoked that guy
And the police dog.
and the police dog.
Yeah.
And I don't. So whether we in the class say look at the hands, look at biology in all of the studies that we have available to us, as broken as they are, we'll say that we are looking where we're going to shoot, not where the knife is at. This is why a lot of people get it wrong. Michael Hancock, one of our students, he got a lot of information incorrect, which is what landed him with the first degree murder charge. He beat it, but there's a lot of questions about his fucking case, a lot of questions, and a lot of it had to do with what he's seen or what he thought he's seen. So I think for the interest of answering the question, it's the high center chest is what you're looking at once you make the decision to shoot.
So there is this persistent
Julie Ward sounds familiar, but I can't say if it was Dr. Julie Ward. I don't know.
good job on the facts, pulling up the facts. There is this perception that that gunfights involve people getting shot in the hands and people getting shot in the weapon hands specifically. And some of this has been attributed to that's what you're looking at. But it could also be attributed to the fact that limb is going, if there's a weapon in the limb, is likely to be extended towards the target up in between what the defender is looking at. And so if my focus is high center chest and you extend your weapon probably still going to shoot you in the hands, even though I maybe not even see your hands.
Yeah.
So again, we're always working from incomplete information, so we're doing our best to do this, but that does make sense to me that your vision will go towards what you are. Well, let me think about this for a second.
Well, the hands and the eyes are we've said this before. They're very closely fucking connected.
Right.
They like to work together.
But my
It's
question about this would be, what would drive the limbic system response, that lizard response, to focus on the high center chest rather than on the dangerous weapon?
because dangerous weapons are new to us. Like if you think about in relative times to evolution, to when Jesus made us, to the Big Bang, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If we listen to science says we've been around what 300,000 years, something like that, a few 100,000 years. If we listen to Jesus, 3,000 years. Like either way, it predates dangerous weapons.
Well, we could say beyond the human experience too. I mean, if this system was built, was started with the fishes, like we're just gradually building the complexity of this system, but it basically is the same system.
Fucking gun websites.
Yeah. That reminds me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If anybody's seen that movie, so this is not just human. This goes back even further than that.
Yeah, I mean
The point of
it's
that is like lizards don't fight with weapons,
correct.
right? We call this the lizard brain because we understand that it goes back to reptilian iterations of animals.
Well, yeah, and you think of it, the stuff that we need to defend against when we first became a species.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have anything in their hands. Shit, some of them didn't even have hands. So we were looking at larger objects.
So
Think about
would
cats. You
say
think about bears.
from an offensive point of view, that animals have evolved to focus on the target, right? Like the neck,
The neck.
the head.
Yeah.
From a defensive point of view, because there is fundamentally different systems, I think, going on between those two.
Grossly different. That's why
Yeah.
the training just doesn't mix.
Oh, Paul Howe talking about looking at the face, then hands, then waist. That's looking for cues. That's not the same as the threat response. So that's basically pattern recognition for finding out what somebody's intentions or abilities are before they want you to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the last shit that you said either didn't come in or you fucking
Oh, am I still here?
yeah, you're still there.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So it's about finding out the person's intentions and abilities before they want you to know what they are. So
those are more offensive tactics than they
Yeah.
are defensive tactics.
So you're looking for these subtle cues, these more discrete cues that let you know that trouble is coming, not what the brain does once it processes the threat is happening.
Correct. And here's the problem. A lot of the times you look at all those and it doesn't give you all of the information, or you make poor choices for reasons. Case in point, Jack Wilson, White Power, Texas. Uh, that's like the stupidest joke I say all the fucking time because it might as well be White Power, Texas. Like the town is just one word off. It's White Settlement. White
It's a
Settlement.
very closely related word too, I think.
Yeah. So in White Power, Texas, they knew they had all the cues. They had all the visuals. They had all the. They should have kicked him out.
Yeah, I think what Paul Howe's thing is though is to not override those stimuluses with rationalization. To learn how to spot and trust those stimulus rather than because this is what happened in White Settlement, Texas. They had every reason in the world to keep him out of that sanctuary, but they let some overriding priority of not causing a disturbance or letting him experience Jesus with everybody else,
Yeah.
or whatever it was that led him into the sanctuary.
Correct.
But they all remember all the cues they got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gavin DeBecker, I think, wrote Gift of Fear. And he talks a lot about that, about how we tend to want to, for whatever reason, not accept the reality that these cues are giving us. And I think, I mean, if I was just going to put
That's what we
forth
talked
my
about last podcast, right? Is we're really bad at risk assessment.
yeah, well, we don't want to look in those places where danger might be, because we don't have a map, we don't understand it, and we're afraid of it. Um, where I think a police officer, especially a seasoned police officer who's been through a lot, he has learned that you need to pay attention to that, because things get more dangerous if you don't.
Correct.
So
But there's the flip side though of now everybody's a threat.
yeah, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I mean, you can go too far with it, but if you think about it from an evolutionary point of view, it doesn't do you any good to go too far with it. In fact, it's counterproductive. So I was listening to these soldiers from Iraq talking about IEDs and how they got really, really good at spotting IEDs, because if you didn't, you'd die.
Fucking die.
And I mean, it would be something as subtle as like a spot in the road that was not dirty or was not clean yesterday is clean today. You know, things that we would never notice. In
Yeah.
that context, you need all that. You remove the context and you put this person on I-25, and now they're still operating as if it's true that there's danger every 5 feet down the road.
Correct.
So that's not good. However, if you're operating in that environment, if you're overestimating the danger, you're being inefficient. So I don't know. It's a subtle difference, but yeah, you can become too paranoid. But I think that's a choice where you say, "Oh, my head's always on a swivel." It's like, nah, it's not really.
It's not.
You've gotten really good at taking in the information that your brain thinks you need.
Correct.
So
Yeah, that's a big mistake, right? For us to believe that we have a choice in the information that we're accepting or not accepting, like our high level thinking.
yeah,
I think that's a big mistake, and we don't accept that it's being processed through all of our fucking bullshit and our traumas.
the way our parents treated us.
Like
You know, one thing that I have found that has made a big difference in all of that, all of my perception stuff, is purposely just slowing down. Everything I do, I try to do it a little bit slower than I want to do it, because it gives me time to think about and pick the better response.
yeah,
So, like, this is a dumb example, but it does make sense. I only have one key for my car.
stupid.
If I lock my key in my car, I'm screwed. So when I get out of my car, I'm very slow about it. And before I close the door, I make sure I look at my hand, because I'm trying to gather. I'm trying to not operate on that autopilot. I'm trying to gather more information and make decisions rather than just stimulus response. So
Well, there's this thing called let me get it right, a reflex arc, and it's the way it works is I'm looking at the chart. It's a stimulus goes to your visual receptors, and then it goes to your sensory neurons. One, what you were just describing, it goes to the conscious thought. And we've talked about this a little bit differently, but the reflex arc will bypass that and go straight to the motor neurons.
right.
So it'll go straight to the involuntary shit. So you're deciding. You're making a conscious effort every single time. Slow the fuck down. I don't want to have to break into this car.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If you want a concrete example of that, though, getting your reflexes tested at the doctor's office, it's kind of a surreal experience because your leg moves not only without your conscious thought, but faster than you think it should move. Like that response from the leg
yeah,
is like, whoa, like I couldn't have moved it that fast if I wanted to.
I'm fucking
And
fast.
that's physically true. You couldn't move it that fast if you wanted to, because for you to want to do that, it has to go through that frontal cortex, and the straight reflex bypasses all of that.
All of that shit.
And it's crazy how fast it is.
It's fucking
Because
quick.
if you look at how the nerves, neurons transfer information and send the signal, I mean, there's chemistry going on, there's electricity going on, there is a chemical balance, so if you're like chemically imbalanced, like it can interfere with this process.
Yeah.
And you think like it has to do that all the way up your leg to your spinal column, to your spinal cord, up to your brain, through the right circuit, back down your spinal
Send it
cord,
back down.
back to your leg, and then to the muscle.
And that's still considered slow.
Yeah.
Like if you compare it to other predators,
Mm-hmm.
cats, more specifically, like they're much faster.
Yeah.
Much faster. It's crazy. And then the other thing we don't take into consideration all that much because it's pretty minimal, but it still adds to all of this stuff. But I do want to throw it out there. I call this the physics. Well, ChatGPT called it the physics. We asked it a couple of weeks ago what we should talk about. Yeah. But in the physics, we still have to take into account after we receive all of that information, after the brain does what the fuck it needs to, and it tells our muscles move. There's still a lot of Newtonian physics that needs to come into effect before you apply it. And that's obviously going to vary if you're fat, if you're out of shape, if you're skinny, if you haven't eaten. Like the second law of motion, it's force times acceleration. So you have all of this shit that's in play, both from a neurological and a physics perspective, where we need to understand, I think anyways. I haven't been able to convey this, I think, very effectively, but it's humans. The more we understand it, the more we become better at training for self-defense instead of doing the man card drills.
So from that practical point of view of the training, we stress this constantly, that I am not asking you to go fast. I'm asking you to go correct.
Yeah.
Because whatever that stimulus response you're training, every bad repetition is a new neural pathway. And we don't want new neural pathways. We want as few as we possibly can get. But people get confused and they think that we're pushing them to go faster. Where we're coming from is that the efficiency will build regardless of whether you're doing it right or wrong. You will get more efficient. Well, no, let me take that back. That's not the right way to say that. You will get better at whatever it is you're practicing. But if you're practicing it wrong, you're only going to get better at doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong.
So don't worry about going fast. The shortcuts, the neurological shortcuts, the physical shortcuts, the mental shortcuts, they will all come in time as long as you're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So we talk about on the oh yeah, go ahead and talk about this because this is important.
Max says that's why some people freeze, short circuit the nervous system through stress overload. There's actually a lot of neuroscience. We've talked about this before. I talk about it a lot because I've had students bring this up, and we don't actually freeze. We it generically will say freeze. When I say we, I mean humans will generically say freeze. But again, words matter, and in the interest of speaking about this as correctly as we possibly can, as humans who are not a neuroscientist, there's a ton of neuroscience and now evidence to support the idea that there is no freeze. It's fight or flight. Freeze is more, again, overly simplified, but it's basically your brain. You didn't load that software into it. You didn't load that app. You have the icon, but you're clicking the icon of the danger, but it doesn't have the software in it, and it's trying to download the software. Like it's trying to figure out what the fuck it is. That's
3G.
basic.
That's
What's
what it
that?
feels like. It's on 3G downloading.
Yeah, 3G downloaded. You're on a Linux, so you're like, oh no, you can't use the fucking graphic interface. You have to use the terminal really quick. So now you go to the terminal and you fucking you have to use the terminal to fucking download it. It's not that you're freezing, it's that your brain doesn't know how to respond because you've never given it the information to respond. It's not a freeze. It's
So
I legit
psychologically and neurologically, your brain is is trying to find context
correct.
so that it can find a response
Correct. A correct response.
or
in
what it believes is a correct response.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more of it's information gathering. That's literally what the brain's doing, is just gathering more information. It is not frozen. It's You don't need to reboot it. You don't need to control alt delete that bitch.
And I think I could be wrong about this, but I think if you look at video of people in these situations,
Yeah.
you're not really going to see anybody freeze. You're going to see people moving. Now their movement might be very ineffective,
Stuttery.
stuttery,
Yeah.
confused, but you don't see people just freeze and stay like that. Like there is this startle response, and the startle response is this: the hands go up to protect, the center of gravity lowers, goes into a protective posture, but you don't really stay there.
Yeah.
Even falling to the ground, like going into this posture and then just slowly falling to the ground, is movement.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, so we'd say, oh, he froze, but he didn't really freeze. He just got into a more submissive posture, or got into a smaller posture, or whatever the brain thinks it was doing at that moment.
Yeah, there's in neuroscience there's this thing called Hicks law. Hicks that's a stupid name, but Hicks law, spelled exactly how you would imagine. But it says that decision time increases with the number of possible interpretations. You haven't narrowed that shit down. You haven't pinpointed. This is again why we always talk about people who use timers and all that shit. Is you're actually not doing what you think you're doing. It's you're essentially giving your brain you're doing it a disservice by only practicing one thing. So when another thing comes up, like, oh, this is a different variable. Like it's similar to the other one, but here's a much different variable. You said I was gonna have to shoot it twice, but this fucker's got a knife, and I don't know if I should shoot it. I didn't hear the beep, and like there's a shirt over the holster. It's not on your leg anymore. When you were in training, you had a leg. Oh, you don't have your fucking plate carrier. Like it was different. So now it cannot select the response correctly because
Or it'll take longer to select.
Yeah,
response.
there you go.
Eventually select the right response.
Correct.
But you're building in inefficiencies rather than
Correct.
leaving that that's not the right word, that flexibility
Correct.
to make the right decisions. Kind of like an experience that a lot of us have had of going back to the car. When somebody slams on the brakes, we think, oh, the brake light is the stimulus, but that's not really the only stimulus, because you see brake lights all the time.
All the time.
This is brake lights where you're going faster than you should be. or
Correct.
the brake lights in the car itself are slowing down faster than you anticipated. And we have all kinds of other stimulus going into your assessment of how dangerous this is.
Yeah.
So it's not brake light equals danger. It's brake light plus blah, 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 blah
Correct.
equals possible danger or likely danger or absolute danger. And
Well,
even those,
according to the passenger wife,
yeah,
it's always danger.
that's the beep.
I think most dudes that have driven with their wives
You know,
understand that
the,
every fucking time. Ah!
instead of the beep on the timer, it should just be a recording of, oh my God.
Oh my god! Which actually is a fuck ton more dangerous than whatever the fuck was going on in front of us.
Now, without stretching this out too much longer, because I do need to wrap up, but one of the arguments for the timer is not the stimulus, even though we've talked about this as a negative training thing.
Right.
The argument is once the decision to has been made to access and use the firearm, how long does that take?
Correct.
How long? How do you know you're getting better at that if you don't measure it?
Yeah.
But my argument to that is, your goal should not be to measure it. Your goal should be to practice it.
Correct.
And in that practicing, it's a law of the universe that you will start to work out the most efficient way to do it.
Correct.
And you can't go any faster than you can do it. So putting it on timer and saying, "Oh, I need a 1 second draw," like you might not be capable of that.
I'm not capable of it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm capable.
Not 1 second to a shot.
Yeah.
I'm not capable of it.
I'm certainly not capable of a responsible shot. I've done
Fair.
the 1 second thing, but I'm just hoping that the shot is going to go where it's supposed to go.
Oh fuck! You've seen me do it, and I smoked everybody there
Yeah.
after talking shit and fucking.
Well, because you didn't miss.
I didn't miss.
That was the thing, is you didn't miss. So so this idea that you have to measure it to improve it is a false idea, especially if like almost all gun owners, you will not practice under those conditions on a regular basis. So this is a measurement in time of something that's not even accurate. And instead, in context, training the right skills and training them correctly. And to the point that you've made several times, you are more than likely going to be better at it in the moment than you are on the range, because the human brain did not evolve to perform worse when there was a true threat.
Correct.
What kind of a system would that be that your brain says, "Oh, this is for real now. We better suck at it."
It'd be even worser.
Yeah.
It'd be worse. I'm always, one of my intrusive thoughts is in a timer class like that one where that you just showed. Like it'd be not because of the death. Fucking let's get that out of the way. But just to see their timers, if somebody just rolled it, like somebody in the class started killing everybody in that motherfucker. And I'd be like, oh, looks like all your fucking, like he just turned around and started smoking everybody. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
looks like your fucking timers didn't work.
Yeah.
I guess sadistic, but I definitely use that video to be like, see your timer.
Well, I mean, you have a couple of examples of this where we have on video, like a gunshot going off in a gun
at a gun store, and
nobody
drew.
has a defensive response to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had an instinctive response to it.
Yeah.
But
Not
a
a
defensive
response to defend against the firearm.
Correct.
The person who pressed the trigger on the firearm.
Correct. Yeah.
And all those people really, if you want to talk about freeze, they go into that response of what just happened.
What the fuck just happened? Yeah.
And they're standing around trying to make sense of it.
Information gathering.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So yeah, like I understand the concept of wanting to gauge what you can realistically expect from yourself as far as how long is it going to take me to access my gun? If we talk about drawing on a drawn gun, or if somebody has a gun out and they're not looking at you, or somebody has their back turned to you, do I have enough time? But one of the biggest factors that we can point to as far as data goes is that almost half of concealed draws that we have on camera come from surreptitious draws. So people hiding the draw, which tells me that people are looking for opportunities to hide the draw, not outrun the draw.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
That's
I think there's room to talk about the expectation of performance under those circumstances, but I don't think that training around the timer is the way to do that.
Yeah.
So, as far as physics of human reaction time, or maybe even just saying physics of human stimulus and response, I have been getting a lot out of the Andrew Huberman podcast because he invites on all kinds of
Is that the Joe Rogan of neuroscience?
maybe you could say that, because he's like a dude bro for sure.
He's a bro, right?
But he is a professor.
He's been on Rogan.
Yeah, he's been on Rogan. He is a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford. So Joe Rogan is a professor of like ass kicking.
Not according to Ronda Rousey.
Well, maybe true. But Rogan hasn't fought. Like, so how, we don't have any way to know. He hasn't fought since he was a teenager. So, but he has a lot of neuroscientists come on, and he can carry on both a highly technical conversation as well as a very layperson conversation at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's really valuable. It's been really valuable for me for just learning about the nervous system and how.
Cool. I'm gonna reach out and see if we can get him on the podcast.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah. He'll ditch his fucking 500,000 views for our 10.
I'm sure he will. Yeah.
In an instant.
Especially because there's no money in it. Yeah, so that's just one resource that I've had because I like podcasts because I don't have to look at a screen to do it. I can just listen. But being able to break down information in ways that are easy to understand but also highly technically correct. So I recommend checking that out. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching and engaging in the comments. Joseph's already gone. I assume Gun Websites is gone because he's not talking shit. And Max, thank you very much. And then the other dude whose name I have forgotten.
Max is the owner of Skyline Firearms.
Oh,
Skyline.
yeah. Okay.
Skyline Firearms.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that name. Go check out Skyline Firearms in Aurora. Is that right?
Yeah, he's in Aurora.
Yeah.
He's a home-based FFL. We'll see if he survives this year with all the laws that are being proposed this year. But yeah, he's home-based FFL in Aurora. He's the only one that does it at the price that the law says, which I think it's dumb that the law caps it. But I think it's like $25 right now for background checks for private transfers. So if you're in the state of Colorado, $25, can't beat that.
You can't beat that with a stick.
I can. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Classes, GFEnational.com, GFEnational.com. Skyline will survive. I mean, not.
All right.
So.
Peace.